Why I think the movie Good Will Hunting, a movie based on a genius mathematician, is such a terrible movie. Wait a minute. You told me you thought Good Will Hunting was a great movie. Okay, busted. Okay, let me explain.
Welcome to Alien Institute.
Okay, let me explain. I really did love the movie Good Will Hunting, but I do feel movies like that need to be balanced out by movies from the opposite perspective. If you haven't seen the movie, it's about a genius custodian who was brought up in the foster care system, was often abused, and with those mental and physical scars, went on to become a rough, strong-headed delinquent who was always getting into trouble. Being, as his friend called him, wicked smart, he anonymously, while doing his custodial work at a prestigious university, solved an almost impossible math problem that was put on the hallway blackboard for everyone to see. Of course, Will, the custodian, worked on the problem after everyone had left for the day. The next day, there is a mass excitement at the university that someone had solved the impossible problem, but no one owns up to it. The main professor, Professor Lambeau, eventually finds out it was Will who solved the problem, and he pushes to get him into the mathematical community. Professor Lambeau soon finds out that this smart custodian is somewhat of a thug, a tough kid from South Boston. Lambeau goes through a list of psychologists who attempt, unsuccessfully, to civilize Will in such a way that he can use his gift as a mathematician. Eventually, the professor finds a psychologist who also grew up in the tough streets of South Boston. He helps this genius custodian, Will, heal old wounds so that he can start thinking positively about his future. Additionally, Will's best friend tells him that it would be an insult to him and the rest of the crew if Will didn't cash in on his gift. After that, Will begins to let go of his past and he contemplates a future. So what's wrong with the movie Good Will Hunting? Nothing really. But the theme, just as in the movies Gifted, X plus Y, and A Beautiful Mind, the characters are automatically talented. They practically pop out of the womb solving equations. These are all great movies, but they imply that mathematicians are born, never made. I'm of the philosophy they can be made. Of course, there are informative things in these movies that could spur research. For instance, you may look up the Navier-Stokes problem from the movie Gifted. But most of these movies are about an awkward character trying to fit in with society. So how do we balance those movies? What we need is a story about an average kid who gets inspired to become a great mathematician. In Vision Quest, Loudon focuses to become the state wrestling champion. In Karate Kid, Daniel-san focuses to win the city karate tournament.
Must focus. Concentrate.
Yeah, that's it. A kid who, without any extraordinary math skills, through sheer focus and concentration, wins the Distinguished Fields Medal in Mathematics. Although there are all sorts of math movies out there, I repeat, there really needs to be one where an ordinary, everyday, curious kid goes on to create his own mathematical curriculum, and with the same determination that Rudy had in the movie Rudy, the kid mathematically molds himself to solve one of the most staggering problems of our lifetime. He goes on to solve one of Clay Institute's Millennium Prizes. At the end of the movie, he uses the $1 million prize money to build an institution that trains an army of elite mathematicians who will eventually solve the most pressing scientific questions of our century.
Hey, Alien Institute crew, don't forget to strike the like, subscribe, comment, and share. Also continue learning by watching more AI videos.